Curious Calico here, checking in for another session of therapy. I do appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Today I'd like to request just a bit of your time to ask you a quick question you may have not yet made the time to ask yourself. Due to this fast-paced microwave mindset type of society we currently find ourselves in. As a matter of fact, how many of you out there, no matter what accomplishments you've achieved, leading up to this phase in your life, continue to feel in one way or another empty, or unfulfilled, if you will? Not necessarily sad or depressed or anything of that nature. It's more like a stagnant type of feeling, right? You just know you're currently not yet firing on all cylinders. You know and understand the importance of the value you bring to the world, as far as a typical contributing member of society is concerned. You are in fact educated, pay your bills on time as you should, take care of your loved ones when required, as well as a myriad of other accomplishments, all while adhering to the demands attached to that wonderful 9-to-5 job, or whatever other means of income you currently may utilize to satisfy your lifestyle requirements. All high-value individuals out there fully understand as well as appreciate all of the tasks that assist with the building of a previously damaged culture. And for this reason, we naturally complete these tasks as well-rounded individuals, with a certain level of self-respect for ourselves as well as those around us. I'm sure at some point in most of our lives, as we matured accordingly, we realized the importance of coming to grips with the harsh reality that whether we liked it or not, everything in life does not revolve around our own personal beliefs and selfish desires. And no matter how raw a deal you may think you've been served in life, someone else out there always has a deal that makes yours in retrospect look more like a vacation getaway. And to add insult to injury, 9 times out of 10, these same forsaken individuals are still much happier in life than yourself, despite their current circumstances. Typically, it's around these times we learn to view certain things through a different type of lens. But before I find myself further rambling off topic, let's get back to the subject at hand and the question which brings us here today. So without further delay, how many of you out there feel in your heart and soul, at this point in your life, you've truly been introduced to your very own purpose in life? Now, not to be confused with the question, what is your purpose in life? It's fair to say any individuals out there fully aware of their purpose in life at some point in time were in fact introduced to it. This we all know and completely comprehend. So to not run the risk of putting the cart before the horse, I'd like to mainly focus our attention at this moment on the question more heavily focused on the introductory phase of your purpose. Again, I briefly touched on some of the duties and responsibilities we all perform daily as upstanding individuals. But that right there brings me to my point of the day. We all do those things, and although all of those things are appreciated, are those things really special? I've touched on this in the past, but it's worth saying again. I personally feel everyone out there has a unique gift of some sort to contribute to the world. Now, whether they ever decide to recognize the gift or even reveal it, that very important as well as impactful decision will always lie in the hands of the beholder. Which is why no matter our age, or any other demographic for that matter, we can all think of individuals out there who help shape the type of person we have developed into thus far in our lives. Who knows where any of us may be if that particular person who comes to mind was never introduced to their purpose, and in essence never recognized they could become someone of greater influence. That is, again, outside of the typical cookie-cutter requirements and status symbols our society tends to get wrapped up in more times than not. So I know this may be asking much of some in this technology-driven world of today, where most people only put their phones down to simply charge them, where most people feel it's acceptable to have a conversation with someone standing right there, while still staring directly into the face of their mobile phone. Where most people, when they do decide to walk somewhere and get a little physical fitness in, walk their entire journey without once looking up from that smartphone. Now, true, they never bumped into anyone and they never tripped or fell, due to not paying attention or keeping their head on a swivel. But think about it. How many people you missed out on greeting as well as possibly introducing yourself to? Think about the opportunities you may have let slip away to teach, influence, or even encourage someone new. That particular someone who just happened to be in the same space as you for that particular moment. For a reason you'll now may never know. You two passed one another, and that person you may never meet again in life. So that is, in fact, or was, an opportunity you may never receive again. Now, I said all that to say this. For all of you out there with so much wisdom to share as well as guidance to give, if you rarely look up from that smartphone, when do you ever make the time to share and give back? For all of the blessings you yourself have received thus far. Giving and receiving is an energy. All of those who practice these actions regularly, we fully understand this concept. You would be hard-pressed to find someone out there today who genuinely gives from the bottom of their heart and doesn't receive the love back tenfold. So if you do it for no other reason, then absorb this behavior for yourself, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with making yourself a priority in life. I know this is a well-known as well as overused cliche, but you can't take care of anyone else if you don't take care of yourself first and foremost. It's very important information, so I feel it can't hurt to be heard once more. And whenever your hectic schedule finally lets up just enough for you to dedicate some alone time to yourself, put away all of the social media and other fancy devices for just a moment. We all know some of you speak to Siri more regularly than some of your own family members. And as a matter of fact, turn off everything around you, assuming you don't need a light for vision. And to be perfectly honest with you, you shouldn't require much light. Because along with no sound, you should be closing your eyes to eliminate any other possible distractions. And just use this moment to let your mind simply wander. Try your best not to intentionally think about any past, present, or future engagements in your life. Rather, keep yourself solely focused on the current task at hand. Utilize this time to not think about anything at all. You may be very surprised where your conscious mind takes you if you decide to finally just let go of the wheel. It could be an old childhood memory, or even a past loved one, or possibly your next great accomplishment in life. No matter where your mind goes, enjoy the journey and recognize the value in slowing things down. Every once in a while, just enough to sharpen your insights on certain approaches in life. But regardless of what drives you, one thing is for sure. It's going to be a lot harder for you to find that driving force or to be introduced to it as previously mentioned, especially if you don't take the time to decelerate every once in a while and just chill. Nothing's more frustrating than trying to find someone who's also trying to find you. Trying to call someone who's also trying to call you. Someone has to search and someone has to be discovered. Someone has to summon and someone has to respond. The sooner an individual recognizes their purpose, the sooner they can place themselves in a position to bring it to fruition. So never allow yourself to feel guilty about kicking your feet up every now and then. You work hard more times than not. So it's fair to say you're entitled to a little rest and relaxation every now and then. And more importantly, that thing in life that unequivocally makes you who you are, not what you are. Find out what it is out there that provides you with that fulfillment you have always longed for. But before doing that, understand the importance of making the time to introduce yourself to it. With that said, thanks again for checking in. If you found this content useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you don't mind, please leave your comments below and let me know if you have any suggestions for improving this channel. Until the next time, remain curious.